Hi, I'm Arielle.
And I'm Madison.
And this is our story.
I grew up hearing all about God, but it wasn't until I came to college that I began to understand how the gospel really transforms lives. That Jesus Christ, fully God and fully man, saw me in my brokenness and still chose to die a painful death. But more importantly, he chose to take my place and die on behalf of my sin. I needed him, and I need him every day.
For as long as I can remember, I've really loved the Lord, but I still continue to need freedom for myself. I've struggled with self-hatred since I was a child, and this manifested itself in many different patterns of guilt and shame that most prevalently took over my life in terms of an eating disorder. This led to different struggles with control, whether it would be working out too little or too much, and then binge eating and starving myself, which were just toxic patterns that led to a flawed perception of myself. I would chalk it up to comparison and my sinful nature, and I thought that freedom would equal serving others. But then I ended up only feeling loved because of what I could do for people, or the image that I portrayed. And because of this, I really felt ashamed, because I knew that I should know better, but my head knowledge and heart knowledge did not connect.
I also struggled with an eating disorder. Every day, I was trapped in this never-ending cycle of binge eating and then not eating or going on a 10-mile run because I was so focused on how skinny I wanted to be. I would obsessively weigh myself, repeatedly check the mirror, which just led to low self-esteem about the way that I looked. I couldn't even walk down the street without comparing myself to other girls until I just felt like nothing. Last semester, though, I got injured on a run and wasn't able to work out for a few months, which made me really worried about how my image would be affected. It was then that I began to realize how toxic my mindset really was and how badly I was struggling with body image. And I didn't just want to sit there. I wanted to do something about it. And I began to learn that there's only one thing that can help me overcome this struggle. It's understanding more of God's love for me.
Jesus said that it's for freedom's sake that he has set us free, so we could truly find our identity. In Matthew 16, Jesus is with Peter and asks Peter, "Who do you say that I am?" Peter has a new understanding of Jesus. And when this happens, the first thing that Jesus does is look into Peter's eyes and speak identity and truth over him. This is why I needed to be renewed by the transformation of my mind from the old patterns and mindsets and ways that I had been thinking. In Romans 12, it's that so we can find what God's will is for our lives. And what is that? To love him with all of our heart, all of our soul, all of our mind, and all of our strength, and love others in the same way that we love ourselves. And this isn't because of who we are, but because of who we belong to.
God's love satisfies unconditionally above all else. The more that I know God and spend time with him and read his word, the more that I know who I am, that I am his daughter and he created me and loves me even when I don't fully love myself. Through prayer, he has completely freed me from this eating disorder I once was in, which doesn't mean I don't still struggle with body image, but I'm so much stronger through it. Before, I had no sight, no fight. I didn't have the eyes to see myself as God does, and I didn't make an effort to stop those thoughts and fill my mind with truth.
It took me until my junior years to realize that I had a problem because I wouldn't be honest with myself. I've constantly fallen into the temptation to prove myself and feel really alone in that. But Jesus did too. And instead of falling in, he chose to live by every word that came from the Father as his sustenance. And I have to trust that the Father's words will sustain and fulfill me. And it's not a one-time fix-all process. It's a continued relationship that takes place through honest conversation and prayer and reading the Bible. I have to keep being honest with myself and others because we weren't meant to live in shame and guilt, but rather to expose these darknesses to light. Community is a gift, and I can't see others as an obstacle or a solution to my freedom. Instead, I have to walk forward in vulnerability and surrender.
I can't keep looking side to side at the world around me, but instead, I need to lift my gaze to the Creator. There's always a new diet to be on, a new haircut to be had. I can't keep up with a constantly shifting society. But God doesn't change his standards. He wants me, just as I am, to be still before him. And it's in those moments when I'm not doing anything that I feel truly beautiful.